These are my 3 friends that you just see that I put on my bed that helped me got through the worst time of my life. AKA my favorite soft toys. And oh, it's such a weird position to be. Okay, let me do it again. I put my minions. Not my minion. My minion Bob closer to me. Chicky and Panda. They can't even sit up properly. Okay. Let me just tap on the 口红先, then I'll talk to you guys. Hi guys. Sorry, I've been coughing for about 2 weeks. And a lot has happened in the last few months. I would just like to share and update you guys about what's been happening, and more not of like a rant on this video, but the objective of this video is more to bring awareness of this kind of topic that basically all the Singaporeans here, including myself, have been struggling with, which is mental health. So if you guys have been following my stories and my posts, I'm quite an open book kind of person, because right now as you all would have known, my business have taken flight at the start of this year. It's been really tough, but it has been good. So okay, for those new audience that don't know me, hi, I'm Kylene. I just make say hi. Hi, I'm Kylene. I'm 28 this year. I am a full-time piano teacher, educator, and I perform on the side, and I do freelancing. My business is also registered for some time as well, and that's a good thing. I'm also the sole proprietor of Kylene's Music Studio as of 2025. Yay. Okay, so now let's bring back to the topic of mental health. Basically, oh my god, how do I even start this topic? Because so many things happen. At least for myself, today is the last week of September, and I can't believe that we are going into October next week. Yeah. So I'm very like because I'm under medication for my current knee injury. I have 3 types of injuries, 2 sprains and 1 partial tear to, I don't know what kind of term is that, but it's got to do with my meniscus bone, and the attachment. I believe the knee has a few parts. So for sports people, if you guys have torn your ACL through sports or have any sports injury, please feel free to comment down below, or just send me a DM on IG so you can explain to me and enlighten me more about sports injuries in general, because I myself, I'm not a sports person and I'm more towards the arts. So whenever I have this type of injuries, it's very difficult for me to understand and even take the next course of actions in terms of medications, physiotherapy. What am I supposed to do? How do I prevent certain injuries from happening or recurring? I'm more than happy to hear. Yeah. So to update you guys, and more of like a learning journey for me, and for not just for myself but for like the audience, like you guys, to also be aware and also to accept that, I would say through my observation, everyone has been burning out, not just in work, but it like leaks into our personal lives. Is it just me, or anyone can hear what I'm saying or like listen? But it has been quite a roller coaster this year for me in general. Just putting it out here, it has been difficult, and especially coming from a self-employed background, and coupled with at least easily 10 years of experience from my school, corporate, and church. I just want to list these few things out here. I think right before we talk about mental health first, we're going to talk about that. Sorry, I'm not very structured. My creative brain is killing me, but let's break this down. Okay, so this video such a fail. Okay, so this video sorry. Okay, so this video here, I want to list down a few things. Okay, so number one, I want to talk about my journey through my corporate life and student life, bracket leadership, because I have my leadership appointment when I was 18. So this year I'm 28, so 10 years ago I was 18, okay? So we're going to talk about that timeline first. Okay, between school, corporate life, and church, these three areas, which actually helped me shape to what I'm currently doing today in the self-employed industry. And I also want to help those freelancers in Singapore, particularly Singaporeans, because we don't have CPF, and I want to also lend a helping hand for those who are thinking to quit your full-time job so that you can 跳过去 to the other side of the sea, which is the not so competitive sea, but the catch is it will be challenging because of certain factors. So let me explain that first. Then that part, okay, my whole self-employment thing in summary, and also my burnout, which is since mid-June this year, and all the way until now, where my health drama started to take place. Okay, and I want to link the last point 3, mental wellness, mental wellness, and learning to take care of ourselves first before taking care of others. Yeah. So let's talk about part 1 of my vlog, which is my 10 years experience. I'm so sorry if when I talk this way, right, it just means that I'm trying to hold back 我在含住my 咳嗽. Sorry, my Chinese is still improving. I just pick up PSLE Chinese again, like standard Chinese, because I want to relearn my Chinese as I have PRC clients, 1, and 2. I want to talk to Chinese speaking clients in the future when it comes to business deals and stuff like that. That will be for another time when, you know, my business start to have like different direction, but that's another thing altogether. Okay, so let's bring back to point number 1. Sorry, my random thoughts are crazy, but let's just shift this Hakusai painting away. Let go. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's talk about point number 1. Sorry, it took me so long. Okay, let's just stop laughing. Sorry. 我的性格就这样啦，就是一直笑 then I'm like that. Yeah. Okay, anyway, just point number 1. We're gonna talk about my 10-year. Let's bring myself back to my 10 years of experience, starting with school, right? Because school is something that everyone have in common, and I believe it's our first stepping stone to applying what we have learned in school in our formal education to not just your corporate jobs today, for those working full-time. I'm in my late 20s already, so if you're in that category, that's great. Or in your early 20s trying to start your job, that's great as well. Or in your 30s and still finding your way out, it's fine. Anyone is fine, because we all have, you know, still finding out what we want to do is totally okay, yeah, as human beings, because we're not perfect and we have strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so let's talk about point number again, the school. School is a good stepping stone to apply what you have actually learned, and bracket, it depends on the teachers that actually teach you what are true leadership principles, and 1, and 2, the ethics of leadership and what leadership really means to you first before applying what you've learned in school, if you have experience in your co-curricular activities and other things. It can be from outside, volunteering, societies, just let out your nets outside there, yeah, anything that's there, right, to apply back to your full-time jobs, your current full-time jobs, and also the church, which for me, because I'm a Christian, I'm a second generation born Christian, but like baptized at 2 churches already, and yeah, okay, and I'm so sorry, guys, please bear with me. Oh gosh, I'm not taking this vlog seriously. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Sorry, we're gonna restart this again. So just speaking about leadership as a whole, because I'm a second born Christian, second born Christian. I'm a second generation born Christian. My whole family are Christians. We attend the same church, move together, hee ha ha together, and we move together as a family in our different stages of life. Okay. Speaking of school, I had my first leadership appointment actually. Just going straight in and like I'm trying to summarize, but at the same time for the ladies I know, you want the details, can I will just explain some more. Okay, I try to. Okay, and my learning points towards leadership and my personal thoughts towards it and my experience. Okay, I think that's very important also. Okay, I had my first leadership appointment when I was 18 in year 2. I studied Diploma in Business Management from Nanyang Poly. I'm very proud of my school because they call themselves the innovative and enterprising polytechnic, which is true because I had experience in there. So let's talk about academics first and then the leadership point together. So sorry, there are two aspects. Let's talk about academics first. So part A would be academics, where I actually specialize in HR and entrepreneurship. Nanyang Polytechnic is the only polytechnic in Singapore currently out of the 5 local polytechnics that offer dual specialization for the business course, which interests me. Which piqued my interest to actually apply for the course, and I got it in, just purely based on my O-level results. It was very mediocre, but it really certainly helped me, as what Lawrence Wong recently mentioned, our Prime Minister of Singapore mentioned, how education is like a springboard to, like, you know, your future and really chasing your dreams. Can be anything that you really want to be. And I'm so grateful. Just sidetrack a bit, he has came in the right place, right time, in fact, to become a PM at for this generation, because we are so creative. I just want to say we have been so collaborative. Like, I feel that the community in Singapore is actually quite healthy, but we are facing the same problem, which is mental health. Okay, so now let's go back to the topic. Okay, for leadership, what I've learned, okay, because I was in the piano ensemble, because I've been playing piano for about 24 years already. I took formal lessons since I was 4, 1-to-1. I didn't even go for group classes. I just went ahead. Changed tutelage a few times. But my current teacher has been really good to me. So I always believe about the teachers, the good of the teachers, and how they will impact and eventually will impact your future and your belief/growth mindset. Okay, in general. I was elected as the vice president under my committee. One of the 2 vice presidents, I still remember. That time the committee was formed based on what my seniors, which you can say that the year 3s, when they passed down that leadership roles to us. I'm very blessed to be able, you know, to be caught by my previous VP, who saw the potential in me and said that I'm an independent learner and I'm willing, and it's more like the attitude kind of thing, and the committee saw some potential in me. I took in the role. That year was also that year where I asked God for bonus in granting me that spirit of leadership because of that. And he really guided me, taught me to be really humble. And the key of leadership is to solely serve people and not yourself. Okay, so that was the first principle that I learned. I also believe in leadership per se. I'm just going to talk straight away about leadership principles. It is always about the people first. To lead is to serve. Simple as that. There's no such principle that says to lead is to serve yourself. Because to become a leader, you need to become a good follower as well. And what the Bible taught me, as in just bringing it over, because church is really it's the center of everything for me. Servant leadership is important. Like how God have his 12 disciples, right? Why do they follow him, right? Because God himself is also a servant and also followed what his Father in heaven has called him to do, which is to pay for all of our sins at the cross. And that was his role, is to carry the cross for us. And that picture, that revelation that I had, stuck with me for a long time since then. I was so young, I haven't turned 18 that time. I was so grateful for the opportunity because it was my first leadership role, and I'm more of like a late bloomer kind, so it was challenging at first because my piano club, we didn't have much direction in terms of vision and stuff like that, and there were politics inside. That's when I first opened up my eyes to this thing called politics. People don't like this certain person, this person like this one. So it's like noise lah. Then to me it's like white noise because I don't really understand. So I remember I did consult my previous vice president about the issue of the committee, and I bothered to actually bring it up because I felt that leadership isn't like that, and it should be a very collaborative kind, egalitarian, which I'll explain the meaning again, and versus hierarchical leadership, where, you know, completely different things. Okay, so my ex vice president gave me some advice. I tried to help out, but of course one person doesn't do a thing, doesn't make the decision. It is all dependent on the team, the whole exco, right? Called the executive committee. You know, when there are treasurers, logistics, committee members, where they have a say, I'm not sure about that, and like, no, yeah. That really taught me firsthand that leadership is not about yourself, and it is all about helping people, and the key word is supporting people, not letting people support you. Yeah, because if I feel, personally for me, if leadership is like that, viewed this way, top down, which is hierarchical, so I'm just going to explain it now, where the power distance is so far away from the members, and there's not enough, I would say not enough trust, or would say no trust at all. High power distance, no trust, no communication, only top-down communication, but no bottom-up communication, no both ways, is set for destruction. That's on me. Like, cause I'm more like the kind of open-minded kind of person that prefers to have a voice, and I believe everyone in the team deserves a voice. So speaking of egalitarian, right, it's like an inverted kind of a triangle thing. Yeah, you can read it up. This in the principles of leadership, and 2 types of leadership in the business world out there. So egalitarian is very easy. It's more like flat kind of I don't know what story. I'm very long I never talk about this. So yeah, it's like more of a startup kind of environment where everyone have a say in things. There's open communication. In fact, the people that support the leader, or actually rather the leader support them, the leader gives these people a spotlight to execute what they need to do. And that is what I call leadership. And I feel this should be applied in today's current modern world, where social media is easily accessible, where information is easily accessible, where AI is there, right out there in our faces, right? And things spread fast, right? So it's more like a sharing, open kind of communication. So apart from that, I actually participated in the NYP's student leadership camp, which made me an eye-opener, and it was an eye-opener. It really opened up my eyes to really see how humble people are, especially in the area of sports, where sportsmanship is involved. It is not an individual sport, it's always a team. Even though you might be playing an individual sport, for example running, swimming, yeah, it's just all about teamwork, friendship, collaboration, supporting, attitude. Most importantly, I've been surrounded with such good people. I learn from them. You're just being grouped into different groups, and I mix with mostly sportsmen, and I was one of the only ones in the aesthetics group, so I represented my CCA club when it came to that lah. I didn't really feel left out. Actually, I was able to adapt and like kind of gel within the group, even though they are full of athletes and more athletic. In bracket, I also do run and swim and could have gone for competitive, but was banned by my mom because she didn't want me to see injuries. But now it's being backfired on me now, right now, because I have a knee injury, and it's got to do with my Chinese dance back in secondary school. So I was in the SYF team. It was a competition also lah, so it was difficult. Yeah, training was also as tough, 5-6 hours on Saturdays. Doing my O-level year some more. Yeah. So that aside, I have learned a lot about leadership in the school. That on its own, that has opened up my eyes so much. So not just bringing myself into church, because I had so many commitments. I was juggling between my academics, my own private piano learning with my previous tutelage, and also working part-time during the polytechnic school holidays, because our semesters are pretty similar to uni, and then when we have a summer holidays, there's like a 2 months kind of holiday. You can totally work a part-time job out of it. Learn a lot also. Learn a lot about how to take instructions properly, how to respect your supervisors well, never to engage yourself in gossip, being super real here, never to put yourself highly of others, or neither judge someone by the book of its cover until you have seen the other side of the coin, and not to go based on what you hear from other people. And you have to weigh both sides, and also bracket consult God first before anything else. In church, it was a bit different because I was from a mega church that had the exact opposite kind of leadership that I experienced in school. Okay, I'm so sorry. So in the context of church, I grew up in church, for the same mega church for the last 22 years. But I started to see some cracks in the leadership when I was 18 as well. Yeah, the same year. Just speaking of the same year, 2015. I watched some of my friends. If you are watching this, I'm so sorry, but let me just share. But also, let's all learn here because we are old enough. I'm closer to 30 already. So it is very real that I have to share this whole thing and just compare apple to orange and orange to banana, which I'm going to talk about later on. About just how all these kind of experiences will lead to burnout. Yeah. Okay. I watched my friends that became leaders in the Nanyang Poly cell group. It was a big cell group because of the size of our church at that point of time. Polytechnic can group easily into like 3 to 6 subgroups. If you're from Ngee Ann in Singapore, it's even bigger lah. So 加油啦. Nah, then MIP we had about 2 to 3. So when I saw some of my friends being promoted and selected into leadership, there was some form of change, which then later on I found out in my recent church camp in August 2025 that it is all about fear-mongering and conditioning that leads to fear-mongering of leadership as a whole, and therefore leading to control of the arms and legs of the church, right? Nothing wrong with that, but it's just basically a hierarchical kind of concept in leadership, which MNCs do implement. I would say most because of the size, and it's very normal because I was from a mega church, right? So what I saw in my MIP cell group is that it was very different. My friends suddenly became somebody else that I couldn't recognize. They kept their power distance away from themselves and the members, and they still call themselves leaders despite them not properly communicating and building a relationship with the members, but instead as being a very exclusive kind of group that only hangs out with each other. Nothing wrong with that as well, because all of us were not friends with everybody, and we can't be because we all have different personalities. And if you all know the MBTI thing lah, the 16 personalities, so it's really up to the person, right? Mixing with somebody is a choice, and we are who we mix with. We definitely have influencers, negative and positive, but we all as a whole learn from this experience. So when I observed that, I got pretty upset. I raised it up to one of my friends that who I'm still in contact with, and he also agreed with me that there was something wrong with the whole leadership thing. So I also saw it for, unfortunately, my current cell group as well, and it's just in Chinese 就是讲上梁不正下梁歪. It just means if the top person is 不正, the rest will be 歪. Very applicable to MNCs as well. So I'll be talking about that later on. Pretty disappointed actually, because that's what I didn't learn in school lah. And I start to see my peers around me just being pretty much self-centered. Honestly, I don't read the Bible so much in church. I was just going through the motion and being so familiar with the word that my spirit man got so dried up. It also contributed to part of my burnout. Yeah. So that was really an eye-opener. I'm not sure why I have to mention this, but I just want to just put it out here. I'm not against anybody, but I just want all of us to just learn about what can we really learn from here lah. Because everyone make mistakes, like including myself. No one is perfect, but we have a perfect God. So that's a promise that we can hold on, in the truth that we can always go back to the Bible instead of what we hear what people say, or what a certain speaker says. Yeah, it can be outside the church or anything. Okay, so just talking about corporate now, as I compare now apple to orange and to banana now. I don't know what fruit I can call different fruit. Okay, so we have the last section of my life, which made me see quite a bit about like what the world really is like. I work in my dad's company, who is also an MNC. He's in the industry where he's involved with different kinds of partners, the public sector, private sector, what else, so many things. I was working as a HR assistant as well at that same age, all at 18. Really eye-opening experience. Unfortunately, I didn't like the job because it was pretty boring, and I'm someone that don't really like routine. Even though I can be quite routine, but I'm at the same time quite creative, so I couldn't take like just waiting work to end at 6 lah. Doesn't make sense to me. It's just like 你在浪费时间啊，你 like even though you don't have enough work to do, you just need to wait for the SOP to end, then like follow the crowd, that kind, then like leave, goodbye, like good night, you know. So that doesn't really sit in with me. So that was the start of the experience also, and also politics lah, which is normal. If an office actually doesn't have politics, if anywhere doesn't have politics, it is not so great as well, because it needs some form of structure, but at the same time, everyone's needs kind of need to be heard out, which is difficult, especially in a large organization. Okay, yeah, so that was my experience. Yeah, it was just okay. So now just wrapping part 1 up, my experience when I was 18 and all the way, but I'll just talk about my 18 experience. I cannot go further in my next 9 years from 2016 until 2025 lah. Okay lah, I just put 1 year here. I'm so sorry guys, but please bear my random jumbled thoughts. So that's point number 1 finished. Okay, so to summarize up for point 1, which is my experience when I was 18 in 3 different areas of my life: school, corporate, church. I have learned that leadership is really not about yourself. It is all about servant leadership, especially what the Bible says about how God is so lowly. He washed the disciples' feet. And then in the case of Mary Martha, Mary even like served the Lord with all her heart. She knelt down, washed his feet using her hair. Even like if it's me, right, I won't even dare, because I would think of like myself, like the hygiene stuff like that. But like for her, really she really stooped so low to really humble herself, and she gave me that kind of Proverbs 31 vibes, like really so lowly and gentle. She gave me a picture of how much she respects the Lord as her God and Savior, and also how she views life as a whole. So if we talk about Mary and Martha, like let's just talk about the mental health, okay? Yeah. So okay, I'm so sorry. Mental health comes later. Talk about my business first, okay? Yeah, so about Mary and Martha, right, I have learned in summary that there are really two types of people out here in Singapore. I know Singapore is a very fast-paced country. We are so small, we are so vibrant, but at the same time we are so fast, we don't know how to slow down. I think that is the issue right here. I myself am still struggling with that because I've been teaching full-time in piano for the last 5 years, and ever since I made the jump from corporate to teaching in 2020, it's been really tough. And I graduated on uni in 2019, so just to say, I had a full-time job in marketing before I did full-time teaching. It's been hard, and I just feel there's not enough support when it comes to mental wellness, because we are such Asians, right? We just like to keep things to ourselves, and until to the point where we are so burnt out, then we start to seek help. And when we want to seek help, we are afraid of being judged. So it's kind of like a, you know, you're on the fence, you want to seek help, but you're scared of being judged, so you just pull away, and eventually you just want to be alone, which sometimes is what I do also, because I also just want to sit down sometimes and reflect. And I'm an introvert myself, actually, even though I'm like bubbly as a teacher, but my energy is like really low when I seek help myself and I have to share my story and dig myself out to people. Yeah, and also bracket very slow to warm. Yeah, just in general, but until I'm comfortable with the person and I'll be able to share. So it has become such a problem, I realize. And when I look at my circle of friends, right, they also tell me the same thing, like, hey Kylie, like, I'm burnt out, what am I gonna do? Should I seek help? I'm scared of being diagnosed with mental disorders, that kind of thing. And honestly, nowadays I feel it is okay to admit that you are not okay, you know what I mean? And it's so important because we only have one life, and our life is so short. We don't want to spend the rest of our adult lives just running the rat race, and it's so exhausting, not just physically but emotionally and mentally. And it will kill us lah eventually, like that. It's like 拿那个刀这样哦you're just doing this to yourself, and you'll be very bad. It would not just hurt yourself, but especially your family members around you, especially those that are also working also. Then together then become like rojak, pot of rojak, you know, then with the sauce like that, cannot. So I want to address that as well. Yeah, so basically about my work thing, I just got burnt out in June. I ran hard, didn't take leaves for like start of this year until this year June all the way. That's wait only. I regret that decision so much, and I just really want to let myself know and you guys know that not just self-employment is difficult, but freelancing itself is very difficult, because once your hands and legs stop working, you don't have no income, you have no safety net. So you may have the freedom of time for those who want to quit. Just want to put it out here again, but there are pros and cons. There are pros and cons in corporate, there's also pros and cons in freelancing. And it's easy for us to actually look at other people's you know, the grass is greener at the other side kind of point of view. And I'm sorry, just like bear with my thoughts and try to follow through. I'm trying to make it very logical already, yeah. But I'll at the same time try to, you know, sometimes my mind 在那边, but you bring me back to here. Okay, so yeah, it is tough. And I also am the kind like pretty much chill lah. Like 我就是like become very like procrastinator, like to just like lepak. But then like in this society, we are so type A, high achievers, don't know when to stop, relentless. So I realized that I brought in my past work stress on my previous music school over to my current role, which is like really bad. And even though I'm on my own, I still put pressure on myself to always want to achieve better and always think that I'm not good enough. That's something that I'm still trying to break away, but I'm much better now when I realized that that's the issue. I just want to say that it's really okay to admit that we need to seek help lah. And we really need to also pray to God for those who are Christians and like have the same faith as me. Or not, for those who aren't, can also go to, you know, the right professionals, right, for help. I think in general it's just okay to seek help lah, really. Just seek the right people, pray about it, really. I think most importantly, do not blame yourself for being burnt out. It happens, but at that point of time, especially for us females, like you girls, we all know that we are very emotional creatures. We tend to spiral down in our thoughts very easily, and we tend to just like blast. And I myself have a problem of doing that, so I'm also trying to like have my wall of the well, you know, like to really seal it up lah, and like to really reflect first before seeking help. Okay, I think that's very important. And then let's bring towards the last part of this vlog, which is mental health as a whole, and what can we actually do to, you know, prevent this kind of things. We may not be able to completely solve it in Singapore, because I just feel that the counselors and therapists, the psychologists, the psychiatrists even, they're burnt out themselves because of the workload that they have. And can you imagine like one day you are like, okay, like for example, you're in a role of a psychiatrist, you have so many patients coming to you, just right? So I bet right. Then when you go home, then you have to like transfer that, throw it to someone else, and that's the problem about their roles, okay? And I'm not sure whether they have manpower like issues right now, but it's hard and everyone is struggling. So what can we do about it? I would say from my own experience, really take time out, turn off social media if you need to, take a break from the screens first, engage yourself more in music, sports, whatever, because I mean, it's SG60 right this year, and like the government encouraged us to exercise and all. I think that's a good form of like channel, whatever that helps you, eating, sleeping, but with good proper diets and sleep patterns and lifestyle and habits, up to the individual. But to really like take care of yourself here and not let what here is affecting here. So it should be from our perspective of life should be from the inside out and not outside in. We should be the thermostats, not the thermometer, if that makes sense. Am I saying correctly? You know, it goes in science. Hi guys, it goes in science. So we should influence the environment and not let the environment influence us here and get into our heads. So I'm someone that allows the environment to affect here so much that it really affected me mentally, and it is not okay. So right now I'm also trying to change my way of looking towards life, perspective of life, which is how we view life from here to what is affecting around us. And we can change the environment, not let the environment change us. So that's like my point here lah. Yeah, so that's about it for my vlog, honestly. I just want to put it out here and make mental health pretty much aware lah, and it is so normal. The news is coming out saying suicide rates are going up. Okay, teachers are burnt out, including myself, MOE teachers, private teachers. What else? The healthcare industry, shortage of manpower, especially in the service line, hospitality. I think everybody is burnt out, and we must do something about it. But these are the following few steps that I think we need to do, and to really sit down and reflect, to really know how to pause and just reflect, rather than like running the treadmill with no agenda and you're just following the crowd. Eventually you'll get burnt out yourself and you'll break, and that's it. You don't want to come to that stage where you're gonna spend your health on your wealth that you earn. So it should be the other way, right? Because health cannot be bought, but money can be earned another time. So that is my summary of this vlog, and I hope that my story inspires you. I'm sorry if it's really jumbled up once again, because it's really a bad habit of mine, but I'm trying to change. I'm trying to, you know, be more logical. Because sorry, 我就是 like 我用左手写啦, I'm a left-hander. So I'm very creative in my thoughts lah. I'm very random. I just say what's on my mind. But I'm still trying to. So here it is. So point number one, let's talk about it again, is my experience in my corporate, school and church life when I was 18. And then two, we talk about me being self-employed and actually enjoying what I do, and also at the same time having a realistic goal and a little bit of a plan of my work. I'm just taking it step by step anyway, because I'm new anyway, and like I'm just grateful for the little things lor. And also like just really appreciating life as a whole, because I'm not under a company anyway. Yeah, I'm completely on my own actually. Then lastly, we talk about mental health, burnout in my first year of self-employment, and then talking about mental health. I hope this video helps. If you have anything you want to comment down below, please go ahead. I appreciate the comments. And sorry because I look very sleepy now. I'm going to take a nap. So, and I'm on MC because of my knee injury I have. I really jag it really hard lah. joke it really hard, sorry. Yes, so I hope this helps. I just pray for those that are experiencing burnout right now. I just wanted to let you know that you're not alone. There are really people out there that can help you. It may not be me, I'm just sharing my thoughts, but there are really professionals out there that can properly help you. And do not be afraid to be diagnosed, because honestly, it is okay, and you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. That's the lie that you need to break free from, especially in this society and culture. And stop looking into social media, especially because I just feel competition will never end. Because social media is another thing, a conditioning thing, where you just want to have a chance of like being liked and approved from people. The swiping thing, which I will talk about it again in another video, because it's quite bad lah. Yeah, so just learn how to step away from like your burnout, for those being burnt out right now, and to just reevaluate on things. Do I have to change my habit? Do I have to change my lifestyle to do it? Just take practical steps first, but step by step. Like for ladies, if you want, you can write down, talk to people, talk to females, listen out to each other, have a community, have a bunch of friends that really support what you do, and just have some form of social interaction also. Your life is not all about work. Yeah. And for those in like other stages of my life, as in other stages of life, which is like marriage, kids, and all, also do not be caught up with the rat race with other people's children. I think that's very toxic. I personally don't approve of my own kids next time having their own Instagram accounts, but don't flame me for it. It's okay to post and share, but do not compare. Do not ever compare. That's the last thing. I think it's more the objective of why you want to post a certain thing as well. Yeah, and the objective. What do the audience want to pick up from you? What do you want them to see that your child is doing and succeeding? Will it help them, or will it bring them into more unnecessary competition? So that's about it from me. I hope you have a good day. Happy Friday, guys. TGIF, yay! And I'll see you in another vlog. Bye. I mean the next vlog. Bye. Super random again, but guys, I have painted this lovely flowers. Sorry, so random. Yeah, oh my god. I painted this when I injured my left ankle 2 months ago. And I was so stressed that I just did my painting again. Look at this. So remember, if you are struggling right now, remember that you're this flower, okay? You can be any flower here. Just be the flower. And you'll grow. And you'll bloom so. Really? Yeah. Not exaggerating, but this is amazing. Look at this. Wow. Okay lah, bye-bye.